Okay, it's going to be a little wet in the outfield, and it is a grass outfield with the dirt infield here, so be interesting to see how those outfielders deal with the bog that will be out there for them. So here's your first pitch of the game. And for Kentucky, Harrison and Lorsung well inside the bases as Shoemaker steps in from the left side. 1-0 pitch is in there. That evens the count at 1-1.
And Shoemaker, a short game specialist. A lot of speed, leads the team in stolen bases so far this season. Trying to really set the table here for the Bellarmine offense. Use the ground to her advantage. Put the ball on the ground, then it becomes a foot race.
Like the way that she's very active in the box from the left side. Sydney Langdon comes in at 1-2 with a .385 earned run average on the season. It's her 5th start of the year. Misses away there, so now it's a 3-1 count.
A good patience shown here by Shoemaker. You know, long delay, the leadoff batter, you're excited, ready to go. She's showing good discipline.
Little dribbler to third base. Lorsung can't handle it off her glove, and that'll be a base hit to start the game. So Lorsung played in. That ball just got up on the heel of her glove and rolled right over the top. There's the defense. You see Lorsung right there at third base. Miko Harrison's the first baseman. Tobias at second. Aaron Koffel, shortstop. Smith, Blanton, and Ebbs in the outfield. So they are going to call that an E6, or E5, I'm sorry, on the third baseman. So to start the game, an error for the Cats. And that's one thing we talked about. They have a really nice defense, but in games that they've lost, they've had some trouble.
Well, recent trouble. Yeah. And, you know, when you've got a freshman in the circle, trying to let her settle in, and it looks like we have a little bit of a delay here. Get some more materials on the field. It's a little bit slippery out there for the freshmen.
And, Coach, you could see right in front of the rubber, it looks like she slid on her foot. Do you see that? The path, you can see where it's kind of right in front of where those girls are standing. So they'll get the grit, pour a little bit more out there to try to get quick dry, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we had quite a bit of rain earlier today. Then the rain stopped during warm-ups. So, of course, the tarp is off, and we're all getting ready to go. And then it rained pretty hard, thus the delay in the game. And so the field did get quite a bit of water on it. This grounds crew is out here working very hard to get the field ready. And the surface around the pitcher circle is a clay surface. It's a little different than the surface on the infield. So it is going to be a little more tacky, a little more sticky. And you can see we're going to get a little more materials on there. They'll rake that in, try to tamp it down.
Now, will they allow Sydney to have a tongue depressor or something like that out there to try to clean her shoes or cleats between pitches and things like that?
Oh, sure. And if you get a good look, you can see she's pulled it out of her back pocket and letting it go. But, yeah, anything to help the pitcher get some traction. There you see the tongue depressor. Just an easy way to pick the dirt, pick the clay out of the shoes. Unfortunately, in our sport, rain is part of it. And, you play on different surfaces. That's part of it, but I've just been really impressed over the years with the grounds crew here at Kentucky. They are very committed, take a lot of pride in this field. They've always got something fun in the outfield. Tonight it's a Wildcat. Behind the backstop here, we've got the state of Kentucky. They take a lot of pride in this facility.
Well, John Carp Stadium is one of the nicest, and you have to tip your hat to what Mitch Barnhart has done here with this complex next door at the Bell, which is the soccer complex next to the football training facility, their practice facility. It's all very, very tastefully done. And as you said, the grounds crew has got a yeoman's job today to try to keep this dry. But it is, it's clearing up, if you will. It's a little lighter in the skies. Talked to some of the weathermen, T.G. Shook over at Channel 36. He said that it was going to lighten up as the night went on. It's going to be hit and miss throughout the night, but it's early in the season and it's springtime in the Southeastern Conference, right?
Well, there's no doubt about it. And especially with the pitchers, I mean, player safety is number one. Everybody wants to play this game. In-state rivalry here with Bellarmine. Bellarmine in their last season of transitioning as a Division I program. Of course, Kentucky, a very established program, consistently in the top 25. But player safety is definitely number one, and they're not going to get started until the field is in great shape.
Bellarmine, right smack in the middle of Louisville, was founded in 1950. Just under 3,000 students. How about Brandon Papp? He got to start the World Series a year ago. How about that? I mean, that was really neat. You're coming from a school like Bellarmine and you're starting in the World Series as a rookie. That's pretty strong. All right, so Langdon says, you know what? It's okay. Let's just play. Let's play some more softball. And so now with the runner on, it's Harley Bickett that steps in. Bickett, a .214 hitter. She's a junior. Bickett has started all 15 games this year out of Wilmington, Ohio. Just north of Cincinnati, up near Kings Island, for those of you like that. That's a shot right down the line under the glove of Lorsung into the corner, and she'll have herself a stand-up double. So a walk and a double, and how about the Knights of Bellarmine, who have had trouble all season long scoring runs?
Well, couldn't be a better start here for Bellarmine, and it all starts in the circle. Sydney Langdon has fallen behind both batters. She's had to come into the zone a little more than she'd like, and credit to Bellarmine and to Bickett, who's standing at second base. They are not missing when that pitch has been a little bit too much over the plate. 2 base runners here for Bellarmine.
So here is the aforementioned Chloe Collins in the situation she likes to be in, inside with the first pitch, so she falls behind the third batter she's faced. And here's one thing you brought up to us before the game, that in the first inning, they've outscored their opponents 20-10 this year.
Oh, that's just being ready to play. And, face it, it's your first time through the lineup as a hitter. You don't have a lot of information on the pitcher. Hitters tend to pass that information down throughout the lineup as they have at-bats. By Bellarmine scoring early, it just shows they have good plate discipline. They're not afraid to attack early and often.
So the 2-0 misses again. She's trying to stay inside, and now she goes 3-0 to Chloe Collins. Collins, 2 home runs, 6 RBI on the season. The amazing statistic here, Bellarmine has 3 home runs on the year as a team.
Well, when you look at Bellarmine and you look at their offense, the power numbers don't jump out at you, as you just mentioned, Jeff. But they're scrappy and they find ways to score, and Bellarmine couldn't have drawn it up any better right now than to have Chloe Collins come up, nobody out in the first inning with 2 runners in scoring position. They have to capitalize on these opportunities in this game.
And again, that one down and in just a little, so 2 walks in the innings, sandwiching a double, and Bellarmine now has bases loaded. Megan Konerman steps to the plate. Junior hitting .234 on the season.
Well, Langdon getting a visit to the circle here from head coach Rachel Lawson. Langdon does not have a lot of walks on the season, but she has fallen behind all 3 batters. The last one resulted in a walk. And a lot of times early in the game, it's just finding out where the strike zone is going to be. Yes, by rule and by book, it should be the same every game, but it does vary a little. We have the human element in there for everyone involved. And she has been missing, but she hasn't been missing by much. So now as a freshman, it's being able to take that information she's been given in these first 3 batters, make those adjustments, and work from ahead a little more.
So there's head coach Rachel Lawson, and now here's something that's very interesting as you being a head coach. Obviously, coaches call the pitches, but this year Rachel has added that 4th coach, and she doesn't call pitches anymore except for Schoonover.
I give a lot of credit to Rachel Lawson. She's an exceptional pitch caller, an exceptional strategist, but has a lot of faith in Grace Ballman, also a former pitcher here at Kentucky who now is calling the pitches, really for everyone except Schoonover. But she's calling the pitches, and that's a big responsibility to hand over to a young coach, and showing a lot of faith there in Ballman, who is in the blue jacket. You can see her right next to Coach Lawson.
Good shot of her there. So she swings that one to even the count at 1-1. What do you see from Langdon here? What she's missing, she's been all inside on the right-handed hitters.
And probably the best pitch she's thrown tonight was that last pitch, a little rise ball up in the zone. We mentioned it early in the broadcast. When she's on her game, she's getting a lot of swings and misses. We haven't seen a lot of swings and misses up until Konerman's swing and miss, but she's really trying to establish that inside part of the zone. Little screwball, rise ball combination, which just missing off the plate. Has to make that adjustment to bring it back in.
It's popped up short right center field, and it's taken in there by Ebbs. She'll throw to the plate, not in time. The throw is wide, so nicely done by Konerman to drive in the run.
Love the aggressive base running there from Shoemaker. That ball was not deep. But Ebbs had a little trouble in the lights. You got a little wind, you got a little rain, you got a lot happening there, and she really struggled even to see the ball and make the catch. Went down on one knee. When she went down on one knee, Shoemaker wisely took off and scored easily. Yeah,
that takes all of the power away from her arm because you can't get your body behind you. So 1 run in, so the 21st run in the first or second inning for a team that doesn't score a lot in Bellarmine. But they have the early lead and still just 1 out and 2 on. So Bricker, a .250 hitter. But for the 5th batter, she has started behind every single batter. So she's thrown 20 pitches already in the inning and just has 1 out. Another freshman, Nicole Waters, waits on deck. High again, and she goes to 3-1.
Seen a lot of hitters counts for Bellarmine, and boy, this is a golden opportunity. You got the 1 run early, but they can't have enough runs. This is a very powerful Kentucky offense. They can score in bunches.
Good pitch there. I was just going to ask you, does this get in the head a little bit of a freshman? She's not comfortable out there. Obviously, it's not great conditions out there, and you're a youngster out there on the mound, the first home game of the season. Got a lot working against her. Boy, nice pitch there, and she swung right through the pitch, and 2 outs.
Threw it right by Bricker. Bricker gets a late start, and the ball's in the glove before Bricker really can even swing at that pitch. You can see it just goes right past her. A huge strikeout. Big sigh of relief for Langdon in the circle as she gets to 2 outs.
So here is the freshman Waters, swings and misses. So that's the first batter that she's thrown a first pitch strike to. Freshman out of Gahanna, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. Boy, if Langdon can get out of this inning with just giving up 1 run, that would be a big, big boost for not only her morale, but for this team to just give up 1 run. Just missing there. Waters not very tall in there, and that pitch came in maybe above the letters. And she finishes the inning with 2 straight strikeouts. So a nice job by Langdon to come back, giving up a 1 run.
She's just such an impressive hitter, has been her entire career. Rarely does she get cheated on a swing. She is on time and on balance, and that's why she hits the ball hard almost every at-bat.
Well, she ripped that one right to the shortstop. So she gets a base hit. Here's Smith. Smith is hit safely in 13 of 17 games this year. The senior, watching her through the year, she has improved every year. Exactly what you'd like to see from a player that's going through your program. She can play a number of positions. And that's a foul ball as she tried to bunt that one. Stayed in the box.
And this is a new batting order for Kentucky this year. Kaufel's been typically in the 3 spot, the 4 spot throughout her career, lots of power numbers. And this year, Coach Lawson said, you know what? Let's give her the most at-bats possible. She is clearly our best hitter. She's got a lot of power, and she's been in the leadoff spot and has still been very productive.
And Kaufel's going to try to steal, and they got her. Boy, nice throw down by Waters. She got a good jump. I thought she might make it, but a really nice tag as well.
I mean, rarely do you see a catcher block the ball, drop to her knees, and still be able to get up and throw a perfect strike down to second base. That's just an outstanding play by the freshman Waters behind the plate.
Yeah, ball was in the dirt. Base hit there. And she's going to try for 2 as she turns on the Jets and slides in safely. Riley Smith, that time she just coaxed that ball into left field, didn't she? I mean, that's great back control.
And what I loved was from the minute she hit the ball and she saw it was going to drop in that spot between third base and shortstop, she was thinking 2 right out of the batter's box. No hesitation. Got into second base.
Coach, what you got to love about that of any player is she was running out of the box. She wasn't waiting on her, just jogging out of there. She came out of there like she came out of the starting blocks. That's a hustle double. So now 1 on, 1 out, and freshman Allie Hutchins in that 3-hole. But she's hit pretty well, 340 on the season. Couple of home runs, 12 RBI. Ball just foul. She was way in front of that one. Was that the changeup again?
Sure was, right in on the hands, and Hutchins tried to keep her hands inside, but you can see it hit it right off the handle of the bat. But Kentucky is really high on this freshman. Says a lot for a freshman to be in the 3 spot in the order. But she has been extremely productive for Kentucky. Good plate discipline.
Well, line drive right at the second baseman, Bauer, who corrals it, and a line out there, and Smith didn't wander too far off the second base bag, was able to get back, and there you see their defense. Kayla Bauer made that play. Nicole Waters showed us the strength of her arm. She had to go down into the dirt to grab that ball and fired it down to second to get Aaron Kauffel, or else we'd have a tie game right now. So Grace Lorsong, the senior third baseman, 275, 5 homers on the year.
Well, and both of these pitchers are not missing by much. There's been a lot of balls called in this game, and they are very, very close to being strikes. So both pitchers, both freshmen, having to make some early adjustments. It can be a little frustrating when you feel like you've thrown the ball over the plate. It's a good moving pitch, not called. And so, again, you've got to keep working, change speeds, stretch, bring it in a little bit more to the plate. But when you do that, you're going to give up a few more hits. So the defenses better be ready to play tonight, in my opinion.
Well, that pitch right there didn't miss by much either. Just off the black. So ball hit back to the shortstop. It's picked up by Bickett. She throws over to first, and that time she made the play cleanly. Kentucky gets one on with a double. So two hits has outscored their opponents 20-10 in those first couple of innings. So Sydney Langdon out for her second inning. The first inning, she had some problems, a couple of walks. She had 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, a double, a sac fly.
Well, this is an important inning for Sydney Langdon. I mean, she went through 6 batters, threw a lot of pitches in that first inning, a lot of base runners for Bellarmine. You know, really never settled in to the last couple batters of the inning.
You know, Coach, I think it's interesting. We saw Langdon there as she missed whatever the call, you know, the sign. So she said, go through it again, and you got to hurry because, you know, the pitch clocks are running out, right?
Yeah, brand new this season, the action clock, really in an effort to keep the game moving. And, you know, a lot of people think it's been a big adjustment for the pitchers, and it certainly has. There's no doubt about it. You know, they've got to get their rhythm, get back in the circle, get the pitch call, deliver the pitch within 20 seconds. But it's been a bigger adjustment, in my opinion, for the hitter. A lot of those hitters used to step out.
Yep.
They had 25 routines they had to go through.
Adjust your gloves.
They had to get the sign, and that's been a lot quicker. The batter has to be in the box ready to go.
So that is 3 strikeouts in a row as she struck out Bricker and Waters to end the first.
Had a lot of success going up in the zone. And this pitch is breaking in 2 different planes. It's breaking up, it's her rise ball, and it's also breaking outside. So just a really nice pitch there from Langdon. We talked about it early in the broadcast. When she's on her game, she has a lot of movement. She gets a lot of swings and misses.
And now she's starting to hit on those edges. As she's pulled it in, as you said, just a little bit, and now she's starting to hit on those pitches that were called balls in the first inning. Kayla Bauer from Louisville, Kentucky. So just had to go right down the road to get to Bellarmine. Junior hitting .333 on the year.
Well, I just love the way Bellarmine has approached these at-bats. You know, they're not taking a lot of pitches. I mean, clearly if they're out of the zone, they are. But if that ball is near the zone, they are attacking, fouled a lot of pitches off. They've put a lot of balls in play. And they need to go back to that. Just staying off that rise ball, looking down in the zone, creating some more opportunities.
Now it's 4 in a row for Langdon. I think she's gotten comfortable out there.
What a different tone in the second inning. And that time you see a curveball, and I'm just so impressed with her spin on the ball. She's got a nice tight release. Really good mechanics, keeping everything in line, and very lively wrist action.
Well, she had fallen behind the first 5 batters she faced. And that's the first one this inning that she's fallen behind in Morgan Williams. Williams making just her second start of the year. She's only had 4 at-bats. She got that one on the outside corner to the left-handed hitter. From right here in Lexington. Went to Bryan Station High School, the pride of the north side here. Swings through that pitch. So Langdon has really found her groove and got into a nice rhythm. And the one thing I always say about pitching, it's all about rhythm. It's like dancing.
And when you find that rhythm, you know, it really keeps your defense in the game. That rhythm, that tempo. When you throw a lot of pitches, the defense can get on their heels, a little too much time on their hands, too much time to think. And you're absolutely right. The rhythm, the tempo, not only helps them, it helps their whole defense.
Wow, she strikes out the side. 5 strikeouts in a row for Langdon. So Sydney Langdon, a strong second inning after 1.5. All right, we are back, and here comes Ebbs for the second inning. Taylor, a .314 hitter. Kentucky got a couple of base hits in inning number 1. A single by Erin Koffel. She was thrown out trying to steal second before Riley Smith hit a double. And now the junior Ebbs. From Kaiser, Oregon. Tell you one thing I liked about Zuniga, she just came right after the Cats in that first inning. She didn't shy away at all. She went right after them.
And your team got a 1-run lead, so that gives you a lot of confidence. You know, when you throw your first pitch of the game and you already have the lead, that definitely builds confidence.
Boy, she was away at that at bat, and a 4-pitch walk to Taylor Ebbs. So that'll bring Carissa Hamilton to the plate. All right, now we got the pinch runner. And for Kentucky, that will be Emery Donaldson. So Carissa, the sophomore.
Number 99, Emery Donaldson. Now batting for the Cats, your catcher.
So Donaldson running.
Hamilton.
So Hamilton steps in at .310. A couple of home runs, 8 RBI on the season. Five extra base hits in her 13 hits. And a .524 slugging percentage as well. So first inning, Zuniga pitching ahead. And here she's fallen behind the batters here in the second. That ball lifted into left field. And Donaldson will have to scamper back to first. She went halfway. Easy catch there for Davis. And that'll bring up Nico Harrison.
With one out, your first baseman.
That's where that off-speed pitch can make such a difference for Zuniga. She's not going to overpower you with her speed, but she really locates the ball in and out, and she will throw that changeup often, and it's really tough to time that up.
So there's Donaldson's speed as she was able to slide under that tag. Now that the ball she threw in the first inning was right on the money. This one high and away. Nice play by the shortstop. Brickett didn't even get a play on Donaldson.
Yeah, gets rid of the ball quickly, does Waters, but as you mentioned, the ball's up high, takes way too long to get the tag back down to the ground. An easy stolen base for Donaldson. That's why a steal play is such a high percentage play, unless you're really playing against a pitcher that throws hard, throws consistently, not in the dirt, and the catcher can get rid of the ball because everything has to be just right and line up for a caught stealing play to happen.
So now Harrison falls behind 1-2 with Donaldson out at second. One out here. Kentucky trailing Bellarmine 1-0. Really use a base hit here. It would be her second of the season.
And you understand the decision by Coach De La Haba from Bellarmine to go with Zuniga. Kentucky, a really powerful hitting team. They put the ball in play hard. They're a very disciplined team. And so what do? You throw the pitcher in the circle who throws an off-speed pitch often. So you never know. Is it coming on the first pitch, the third pitch, for the strikeout pitch?
Yes. Swings right through that one. So 2 outs now for Jenna Blanton.
This time, Zuniga changes the eyes of Harrison and goes with the pitch up in the zone. She hasn't thrown up there quite a bit. It's really been in and out, down in the zone, off-speed pitch, and that was a great time. Coach De La Haba from Bellarmine is the pitch caller in the dugout. Really good time to throw that pitch. Sometimes it's not the pitch, it's when you call it, and in that case, up in the zone, too hard to stay off.
So pinch hitter Peyton Plotz will come to the plate for the Wildcats with the runner on. Zuniga just keeps pumping him in there, doesn't she?
We talked about no fear. I mean, that she's going right at these Kentucky hitters, really commanding the zone. And this is a unique situation, but Coach Lawson will do this quite often. Jenna Blanton's in the starting lineup, but she doesn't even get in at bat and has a pinch hitter in for her, and that's the confidence she has in Plotz, who's really had a good start to the season, has tremendous power. They're looking for some of that from her right now.
Tates Creek High School grad smacks one to second base, and nice play there by Bauer to throw her out. So Plotz out. Kentucky, we played 2 complete. Bellarmine leads Kentucky 1-0. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Florida, Alabama, all ranked. Yikes. I mean, it's not easy, is it?
The SEC has been the top conference traditionally the last few years, top to bottom, and in RPI, you look at the composite average RPI of all of the teams in the league, and there's no doubt, top to bottom, the SEC over the last few years has been extremely strong. Kentucky is one of those teams, year in and year out.
So we flip the lineup back to the leadoff hitter, Brooke Shoemaker. You see the RPI top 10. LSU, Georgia, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama. Yikes. Kentucky, number 28. Kentucky, couple of wins over Stanford, who's number 3. That was big.
A huge way to start the season for Kentucky. There were a few question marks for Kentucky. They ended the season last year at regionals up at Northwestern. Did not have a strong regional. This team really, that just kind of left a sour taste in their mouth. Worked hard in the offseason. Let's face it, they didn't start the season in the top 25, which is an odd place for Kentucky to be. And they have worked very hard, had a really tough schedule to start the year. They're going to find out right away what they're made of. And not only did they beat Stanford, who's ranked in the top 5 once, they beat them twice, and once against arguably the best pitcher in the country in Nigeri Kennedy. And those were huge wins from a confidence standpoint, program standpoint for Kentucky. And they have been in the top 25 ever since, right outside of the top 25 in RPI, knocking on that door. So this is a place where Kentucky expects to be year in and year out.
So for the second time in the game, Shoemaker draws a walk. So Kentucky is all the way up to 21. And as I kind of alluded to, 17 games on the road to start the season. Yikes. But how about that in blue? Koffel and her streak. Young lady's just a player.
Anytime you see a winning streak or an on-base streak or a hit streak, it's so impressive because everything has to go right, day after day. It just shows consistency. And Erin Koffel has been one of the best to ever put on a Kentucky uniform. Now the home run leader career at Kentucky with 62. And not only does she hit the long ball, but based on this streak, you can see she's drawing walks, she's hitting singles, she's finding her way on base, creating offensive scoring opportunities for Kentucky.
So one of the big question marks coming into the season for the Wildcats was the catcher position, because Kayla Kowalik was so good for so long. Well, she's playing pro ball now. So you've got to be strong up the middle. They are at second, short, outfield. How is this catching situation, and is it a work in progress, I guess, right?
It was by far the biggest question mark for Kentucky. You just don't replace a Kayla Kowalik. Played for 5 years here at Kentucky with the COVID year. Not only was she a very experienced catcher, can really dominate the game from that position, work with different pitchers. Now is an assistant coach, graduate assistant coach for Kentucky. But she also was the leadoff batter, and you can see all of the records she holds. That hits one is the one that stands out to me because she could bunt, she could slap, she could hit it over the fence. She was the table setter for Kentucky, and a huge loss for Kentucky and big shoes to fill.
Really nice pitch there. She got Bickett looking. So Kentucky has started 3 different players at that catcher spot already this season. But as you said, I think they really like Hamilton and hope that she can continue to progress.
And look, you tell a catcher like that, you do not have to be Kayla Kowalik.
Yeah.
Everyone's expecting you to be Kayla Kowalik. You do not need to be Kayla Kowalik, nor can you be. You just need to be the best version of yourself. And as a coach, as a freshman, the 2 toughest positions to come in and play, of course, pitching is its own beast in the circle, but it's catcher and it's second base. And those 2 positions are the toughest to come in and play right away at this level because there's so many decisions to be made. As a catcher, you're making the decisions for the outfield, whether to cut the ball or not. You're working with all the pitchers. At second base, same thing. You have so many decisions to make on the field. Bunt goes down, you cover first. Base hit, you cover second. Relays and cuts, decisions on first and third. There's just a lot of decisions to make at those positions, so it makes it extra challenging.
Right back on that K train goes Langdon as she gets the best hitter on the team, Collins, swinging.
She's got all of her pitches working now. We've seen the strikeout with the rise ball, the curve ball. This time she goes to the screwball, catches that inside corner. Most importantly, you can see the movement on the ball from Langdon.
7 strikeouts now for her in the game. 6 of them swinging. And again, she just misses to Megan Kornerman. Kornerman hit that sac fly in the first and shoots that one to the shortstop, Lorsung, who comes up firing and gets her for another nice.
They have depth at pitching. They have a lot of offense. And Missouri, they've just really come on strong this season as well.
Boy, a nice bunt, but it just stopped. And again, we see the strength of Waters' arm as Tobias in this, with the ground as wet as it is, that ball just didn't move. It hit the ground and just stuck.
Yeah, the goal of a bunt is to make as many people move as long as possible to the ball. This ball just dies in front of the plate. Exceptional play by Waters. Gets out quickly, sets her feet to first base, throws that ball out of the runner's lane for the out.
Shot to right field, over the head, glances off the mitt of the right fielder, Shoemaker, and guess who is standing on second base? Erin Koffel. Shoemaker looked like she turned and then had to go right over her head, and the ball glances off her glove right there.
And Erin Koffel shows you power to all fields. That is not easy to do, to hit the ball to the opposite field a long way, showing good patience on that outside pitch. Shoemaker almost comes up with a great play there. It was at the warning track, but just so impressive what Erin Koffel, every at-bat she values.
That ball popped up on the infield. And the first baseman, Collins, takes that. So first pitch swinging Smith, and she pops out to first.
And Smith's actually very lucky there. She did not run that out, really. Thought that was going to be a foul ball, and the wind kind of held it up, and it ended up catching it fair territory. That ball drops. Smith would have been in trouble there. You want to run everything out. Never play umpire. Just run everything out. Let the umpires call you back if they need to.
So 2 outs now in the inning. Boy, I'll tell you what, you have to be on a bunt or a play like that at the plate. You have got to get that ball immediately. Ball shot down the left field line, but it's going to be pulled well foul. But that ball was stung off the bat of Allie Hutchins. You see why they like the freshman there. But, I mean, Coach, that ball, Waters was able to get to that, and she had to right now turn and fire and got her by just an eyelash. I think the umpire was tricked on that a little bit. He was expecting something inside, and that thing came across the outside corner and just missed. So in a hole 1-2 is Hutchins with Koffel on second. That time she waits on it, but it's going to hang up right to the center fielder. Boy, she kept her hands back on that one and lined it right to Bricker in center field. So back here at John Crop Stadium, Sydney Langdon, take me through this.
Well, she has 7 strikeouts on the evening through just 3 innings. And the reason why? Look at this movement on the ball. She's working all parts of the zone. She can go up, she can go down, she can go in and out. Most importantly, she has tremendous spin, and that's been a very big source of frustration for this Bellarmine offense, who got off to a very hot start. She's just given up 1 hit on the evening, but it was the walk, the air, those things that came back to haunt her a little bit. But she's been able to settle down. 7 strikeouts so far.
You can see that she's got a great body. She has some strength in the lower half. She throws hard. A lot of potential here for the freshman. Big future ahead of her. Continuously in the upper 60s. So Brecker struck out swinging back in the first.
Well, and what I like about Langdon is she just goes about her business. Clearly the first inning could have been a big source of frustration, but she never showed it, you know, and you really have to pitch to your personality. Some pitchers are really fiery and get excited on every pitch, and certainly big punch out, they get excited, but with Langdon, she's just very businesslike, goes about her business, very stoic. Can't tell if, you know, she just struck out 3 in a row or if, you know, she's having trouble finding the strike zone. And
thought she got a little off kilter there the first couple batters because she couldn't really get her footing. They came out, they redid the mound, I should say the circle out there. They brought the grit out, more sand and stuff to kind of dry it up because she just couldn't get her footing. But now, since then, Smith coming in, can't make a play on that one. And kind of in no man's land there is Bricker as she made a big turn at first base. But you can see in the circle there's a lot lighter, and that's all the grit or trying to soak up the moisture. And there's Smith making that diving attempt.
Well, good effort there. Any ball that's hit toward the line, a little bit mishit by Bricker, it's going to spin and continue toward the line. And what Smith did a good job of there is keeping the ball in front. It really wasn't hit hard on a line, you know, not a real high chance of that happening, but if that did happen, that would have been trouble. So not only was it a good effort to try and catch the ball, but keeping it in front to keep Bricker at a single.
But got in the air, but first baseman Harrison couldn't get to it in time as that one just a foul ball. Trying to move the runner along is Nicole Waters, the catcher. Again, a freshman. Been impressed with her behind the plate so far in this game. Squares around again.
A lot of confidence for Bellarmine now. You know, they've been able to hold Kentucky down for 3 innings. They've played solid defensively, got a good pitching performance, and boy, when if you can push another run across here in the middle part of the game, you know that's just going to continue to increase the confidence here with Bellarmine, and that's why De La Haba, her coach, is going to the short game, really doing everything she can to get a runner into scoring position. You mentioned it earlier, this is not a team that scores a lot of runs. They've been able to keep the score down on their opponents with some good pitching and defense, but they've struggled to score runs.
She couldn't get the bunt down, and then she swings through the strikeout there.
With 1 out for the night,
There's half of the coach there behind the pole. Second season at Bellarmine. She's just 34 years old. Oh, to be young again.
Well, what's impressive, this is her second head coaching job at that particular age. Was the coach at Lafayette for quite a few years. Comes into Bellarmine with quite a bit of experience. And you know, Bellarmine is a program, this is year 4 of 4 years of transition from a Division II school, where Bellarmine had tremendous success throughout their entire athletic department as a Division II school, making that transition to Division I. So right, this particular year, Bellarmine is not eligible for the NCAA tournament. They can play in their conference tournament, the ASUN tournament, but you know, that takes a special coach to say, sure, I'll take that challenge on. You know, a lot of these players didn't sign up for Division I, so credit to Coach De La Haba. She's done a nice job with this program.
Only play Lorsung had was to go to first on that high chopper by Davis, and she goes across the diamond to get the out as Bricker moves up to second base. Now that'll bring up Kayla Bauer, the junior. Bauer struck out in the second inning. She is pumping in strikes now. It's like Sydney has got into that, as we said, rhythm or groove, whatever you want to call it, because she is just one right after the other. High 60s. Gets a head hero too.
Well, this is exactly what Bellarmine wants. A runner in scoring position, another opportunity to build on this lead. And this is where the timely hitting, Bellarmine doesn't score a lot of runs, but it's the timely hits, the clutch hits that have mattered to them this season that have gotten them to 6 wins. They already have more wins this season than they had all of last season. And a lot of it has had to do with their ability to pitch, play defense, keep the score close. And then they have found ways to get that timely hit. They could sure use one right now to build on this lead.
Kentucky, on the other hand, has scored 100 runs already this season. That'll get out of play. And thankfully, as we knock on wood, the rain has left us, but still a damp, kind of chilly spring night now. I'm sorry, Coach, you were going to say?
No, just, you were talking about Kentucky's offense, and, you know, I'm kind of shaking my head over here, and they can score in bunches. So, you know, the fact that they have a big goose egg on the board so far is very odd for Kentucky. They can put up double-digit runs. They can score through the lineup. So far, Bellarmine's been able to keep them at bay. And let's face it, nobody's gotten a 2-out hit in this game yet, Jeff, and credit to the pitchers and defense, but that's usually what it takes sometimes when you're in a tight game. You know, who can come up with that timely hit, that clutch hit?
Well, they got 3 base runners in the first inning. They have had 2 since then. A walk back into third, and the single here by Bricker to start this inning, and she stands at second with 2 outs. Another foul ball straight back over the net. You know, it's unfortunate. I thought they'd, you know, get a decent turnout today, but the rain has kind of kept everyone away. And we were just talking to Mark Hill, the associate athletic director here, and the Kentucky basketball team has a game tonight, but not till 9 o'clock. Boy, she got ahead, and nice at bat there for Kayla Bauer. She coaxed the walk out of it.
Exceptional at bat, and Bauer only had a few at bats coming into this game, but she gets the start, and you can see why Coach De La Haba continues to go with her, because, you know, here in the last few games when she's had more opportunities, she has had some quality at bats, drawing the 2-out walk to get to the 9 batter in Williams, have a chance to maybe turn the lineup over again. Just a quality at bat. And we've seen quite a few trips to the circle this evening from Coach Lawson, which is, you know, to only be in the top of the 4th inning, I mean, I haven't kept track, but it's at least 3, maybe 4 times.
What has she reminded the girls now when she went out there?
Well, you know, that if that was a conversation to Langdon, it was get ahead, stay ahead. Let's not be too fine here. Let's really challenge the bottom of the order here for Bellarmine. And if it's to the whole team, you can see the left side of the infield has pulled in. More of a slapper situation here with Williams. So they're just trying to shorten the field, pick the ball up. They've got options now to get outs at any base here outside of home.
Is this a situation where you say, look, this is their bottom of the order and a batter who's had 5 at-bats on the season? Go right after.
Challenge the hitter. Challenge the hitter.
So for Bauer, she'd only had 6 at-bats coming into the game, and that was a great at-bat there to coax that walk.
Battled, saw a lot of pitches, fouled a few off, and this is the 4th inning now, and Kentucky's only had 1 inning defensively where they've had faced 3 batters. I mean, there's been some long offensive innings for Bellarmine.
Now she goes high and strikes her out swinging. So put 2 more Ks on the board for Sydney Langdon. One to nothing, Bellarmine leads Kentucky. Kentucky has 3 hits in this game as they hit now in the 4th, and it's Grace Lorsong, the third baseman, who rips a shot foul on the third baseline. And there's Coach Rachel Lawson at first base. And why is she out there, Coach? You got a good reason.
Well, you get a look at Molly Johnson Belcher, who is receiving an award this evening. She's a 2024 SEC Women's Legend. And you see her years there, 2007, 2010. And Lorsong with the big, trying to stretch it into third, a triple, a leadoff triple for Lorsong. She certainly drove that ball deep to the warning track. But Coach Lawson doesn't coach first base very often, and that's because Molly Johnson Betcher, yeah, you know, you switch things up sometimes. That's what happens. But Lorsong dug in, and it looks like Shoemaker has a good beat on the ball, but this ball keeps carrying and carrying and carrying. And Schumacher kind of drifted with the ball a little bit. Would have liked to seen her get back to the fence a little quicker, but the ball was still hit a long way. And a real spark there for Kentucky, something they really needed in this game.
Well, that's a shot into right field. And this time, Shoemaker makes the play, tagging and scoring from third is Lorsong. So that ties the game on the sac fly. Nicely done by Taylor Ebbs.
A good execution from Kentucky. Yeah, they finally get a runner into scoring position. They had one with Koffel earlier, but they haven't had a lot of runners in scoring position, and they took full advantage on the first pitch.
You know, Coach, that's the strength of this offense, that you're in the middle of the order, you get somebody on, you get them over and get them in. And that was Lorsong, who hit a shot to right center field, and Shoemaker couldn't corral it. She ends up on third base. Next batter, sac fly, and we're tied at 1.
And if I'm kind of circling a hitter, when I look at Kentucky's lineup, Lorsong is a big one. You know, she's in that 4 spot. Kentucky could use a little more power in their lineup. They obviously have Koffel. Hutchins has been a nice surprise as a freshman in the 3 spot. Just, you know, you feel like they just need a little more as they progress through the lineup. Lorsong and Ebbs both drove the ball to the outfield, drove it deep. And the difference for Kentucky, they're on the board with a run.
Looks like Hamilton, something in her eye. She really jumped out of the box there, and she said, something flew in my eye. She's telling the umpires. You see her winking.
Well, I don't know if she wears contacts or not, but I've worn contacts a long time, and if you can get a piece of dirt in there, it feels like a boulder.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of material on the field and a lot of things that can fly up.
Yeah, especially with the diamond grit or whatever you want to call it that they put up there, try to soak up some of the moisture on the field. That's why it's a discoloration when you look out and you see the darker brown and the lighter brown. There you see it right there. And nice shot there to show what we're talking about. That ball is laced into left field. That's going to get over the left fielder's head all the way to the wall, and that will be a stand-up double. Carissa Hamilton. She scoots into second base. You know, it's got it at this the gloaming time or whatever it is, but I don't think the outfielders are getting a good bead on the ball because it looked like in left that Davis, it took her a second to really find that ball, didn't it?
And you know, it all started even in the first inning with Kentucky. You saw Ebbs on in right field, just really went down to one knee to catch what really appeared to be a little more of a routine fly ball. And yeah, the wind's blowing strong from left to right. It's kind of an odd sky, you know, it's cloudy, but yet it's not completely dark. And so, yeah, we have definitely seen some struggles out there in the outfield.
So the Cats bring up a pinch hitter, driving it to right center field. That's all the way to the wall, and that's going to be an RBI double for Borzarelli. Lauren takes the first pitch, and she drives it to right center, and an RBI double.
And Kentucky has had so much success this season with their pinch hitters. Just been so impressed with what they've been able to do. And Borzarelli, same thing. She started quite a few games this year, did not get the start tonight. And she's able to make the most of her opportunity. Kind of waiting in the dugout, learning, watching, getting her opportunity. Kentucky coming into this game was hitting .325 as the pinch hitting opportunities, 13 for 40. Got another one there. Just really impressed with that. That is not an easy skill to do. You're cold. Like you mentioned, it's a cold night, kind of gloomy, and now you see that's an updated stat there. 14 hits on the season. That's just an outstanding number for Kentucky, showing you the depth of their hitting lineup.
So 3 extra base hits in the inning for the Wildcats. The triple by Lorsung, the double by Hamilton, and the RBI double there by Borzarelli. It's going to be a foul ball into the bullpen where a couple of right-handers are working down there for Bellarmine. It's Carson Goatley, senior, who's down there warming up. That ball into right field. Another try, and this time it's hauled in by Shoemaker, tagging at second and advancing to third is Borzarelli.
Well, we're seeing Kentucky in this inning really make some nice adjustments against Zuniga. You know, they're being more patient. Again, Zuniga does not throw with a lot of speed. She really relies on her location and changing speeds. And now this time through the lineup, Kentucky has made adjustments. They are more patient. They're letting the ball come across the plate. They have been much more on time, and we've seen a lot more line drives, a lot more quality at-bats from the Wildcats.
So another pitch hitter now, Erica Thulin coming to the bank, senior. So she'll be pinch hitting now for Tobias. Tell you what, they come off the bench, they're swinging that bat, aren't they?
There's no hesitation. You know, a lot of teams will say, give yourself a pitch, you know, take a look at the spin, take a look at what's happening. Boy, not Kentucky, and that just shows you they're sharing information in the dugout between at-bats. Hey, what are you seeing? Where's the ball coming to right-handed batters? Where are they working to left-handed batters? And just really impressed with this adjustment Kentucky has made here in the middle part of the game.
Zuniga, the first trouble she's had all game really came in this inning, and it all started with Grace Lorsung, leadoff hitter, a triple. Ball's hit to the shortstop. A nice play there by Bickett to throw her out, but Kentucky, the cup.
And batting average, ERA, runs per game, slugging percentage. Look at those 4 wins against top 9 opponents. So not only are they winning games, they're doing it against quality opponents, and that's why they are your new #1 in college softball in the ESPN poll.
Coach, they've got 10 already run rule games. Well, I tell you what, I obviously I'm a novice here in college softball, but that Oklahoma team last year, is that one of the best all-time teams? I mean, they had everything, didn't they?
Well, there's no doubt about it, and it was their 3rd straight national championship, and that's just tough to do in any sport. And in college softball, there's so much parity now. I mean, you just have to tip your cap to Coach Patty Gasso and her staff and her team and her program. Everyone's giving you their A game. Everyone's bringing you their best, and yet they found a way to elevate not just 1 year, 2 years, but 3 years in a row to win that national championship, a 71-game win streak. You know, I don't care where you're playing at home, you're playing on the road. That is very difficult to do. And this season, they're also off to a great start. Just the 1 loss on the season. It was an extra inning loss at that. And so I think we'll hear a little more noise from Oklahoma as the season progresses. That Texas-Oklahoma series, you know, when that is, it's usually in the month of April. Don't have it in front of me.
That'll be the Red River rivalry.
Yeah,
for
that's going to be a lot of fun for college softball fans
Yep.
across the country.
Wow. Yeah, both of those teams, Southeastern Conference teams.
I mean, the
So the rich
SEC
get richer,
needed
right?
a little bit more competition, don't you think? I mean,
Yeah.
wow. Just adding those 2 programs to this league a year from now is just going to be a treat again. Not only for the fans. I know the head coaches of these leagues are scratching their heads saying, "Wow, how are we going to get some wins?"
Yep.
But it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, those teams will start SEC play in football season, if I'm not mistaken. Texas and Oklahoma coming over to the Southeastern Conference. Wow. But Langdon has really calmed down since that first inning.
And Bellarmine's having a lot of trouble staying off that rise ball. She tied her career high already. We're just 1/3 innings here into the game, but it's that movement. You just don't see that type of elite movement from pitchers, and it's not one pitch. You know, sometimes you can take away a pitch. All right, Langdon's thrown this rise ball. It's up in the zone. It's got good spin, but if we look down in the zone, we have more success. Well, she also can spin the ball to the outer half of the plate with her curveball, inner half of the plate with her screwball. So that's what makes her very difficult to hit, is she can command different parts of the zone horizontally and vertically. Has not had to use her off-speed pitch a lot tonight. She's just had so much success with the strikeouts with her moving pitches.
Bickett has one of those hits off of her, but there's been 13 outs in the game, and 10 of them have come via the strikeout. That's getting it done. So back in the first inning, Beckett doubled after the walk from Shoemaker. Struck out looking back in the 3rd inning. She lifts this one to center field. Blanton has it just in front of the track. I should say Sullivan out there in center field now for Kentucky.
With 2 outs, first baseman, number 44, Chloe Collins.
Then we have Plotz in right field, correct? So we have Plotz in right, and we have Sullivan in center. Smith still in left for the Kentucky outfield. The bat of Chloe Collins silent so far tonight. Walked in the first inning, struck out in the 3rd. She is the power hitter on this Bellarmine team. The Knights have 3 home runs. She has 2 of them on the season. She came in hitting .333.
Yeah, this is the hitter that Kentucky and specifically Langdon You really got to keep that ball moving through the zone. You do not want Collins to square one up. She, as you mentioned, she is one of the hitters that can tie this game up in one swing of the bat.
Strong batter from the right side. 1-2 pitch. She got her. Looking. Nice pitch. So that's 11 strikeouts now. A new career high for Sydney Langdon. Cats are coming up. Top of the order. We return. So Kentucky top of the lineup as they finally got to Zuniga in the last inning, and Aaron Koffel turns on that and rips that shot foul. The Wildcats had 3 extra base hits in the 4th inning to play 2 runs. They hold a 2-1 lead, 6 hits in the game for the Wildcats, just 2 for Bellarmine. Good pitch there. Koffel falls behind 0-2 now. You see her home runs. 62 is 7th in the history of the SEC. She could probably get to number 2. I don't know if she's ever going to get close to Davidson. Ground ball right to the second baseman who picks it up and throws, but Collins can't hang on to the low throw. So they're going to call that an error on the second baseman on the throw. So an E4 for Koffel.
Bellarmine's really been switching their second base position here early in the season. Bauer gets the opportunity. We saw her have some good at-bats, but really did a nice job of knocking that one down. But that's a play you have to make to keep Kentucky's offense at bay.
Smith, first pitch swinging last time up, popped out. It's back in the 3rd inning. So 1 for 2 today, and that raised her average above 400. She's now hitting 404. She was right at 400 to start the game. That time a little scribber to first base, turn and throw, advance the runner. But that time Collins was able to get there. Bauer covered the base, and runner moves up.
Still a productive at-bat for Riley Smith. You know, it wasn't well hit, and you know, she may want another opportunity at it, but when you go back to the dugout, if you've done something productive for your team, that's still a quality at bat. And in this case, Koffel's afforded the opportunity to get down to scoring position. Kentucky has a chance to build on their lead.
Pitch hitting for the Cats, number 7, Allie Hutchins.
So Hutchins coming back in, correct? So they called her the pinch hitter. So yeah, there, you know, that is one thing I think that is so important in baseball, and it's something where in baseball, softball, t-ball, whatever, unproductive outs. You know, a strikeout does nothing for you. But that time she advances the runner, and now the ball's into right field, and nice play there by the second baseman Bauer to make up the ground and get you, because I don't know if Shoemaker could have got there. She was playing deep in right field.
Well, credit to Bauer after the early mistake to give Koffel the opportunity to get on base. She's made 2 really good decisions there with second base. Goes back to that conversation earlier. You know, the play goes to Collins. She had to get to first base for the out. In that opportunity, outfielders playing deep, she had to go get the ball out in right field. She's made 2 nice bounce back plays at second base.
That ball is shot down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. And it's fouled by about 10 feet. Just got around on that. That's the power that Lorsung has, but you'd like to see her keep that one in play. Just get out in front of that one a little bit. But again, Coach, you go back to what you're talking about with those unproductive outs. Just, you know, you're not helping your team at all. But in that case, she did. She advances the runner, so she's at least got a smile on her face when she goes back to the dugout, because she advanced up into scoring position.
Well, it's such a game of failure on offense that you have to be able to chart things that you're doing well, even if it doesn't go down as a base hit in the scorebook. And You know, a lot of coaches have charts for quality at bats, moving the runner. You know, did we extend the inning with 2 outs?
And they're going to call that a fair ball. I think that would have knocked up the chalk in the outfield, except it's so wet out there. But boy, that was an absolute rocket down the line by Grace Lorsung. So her last 2 at-bats, a triple and here an RBI double.
Had some real quality at-bats tonight. Lorsung digs her feet in, stays balanced, keeps her hands inside that inside pitch. She's able to get her barrel through, just sneaks it inside the foul line. But most importantly for Kentucky, she has shown the power that this team needs. Some quality at-bats. That ball has really popped off her bat tonight. She's been on time and on balance.
Another shot. Dead center field. Is it got enough? No, what a play. At the wall. Bricker may have stole a home run away from Taylor M. So the Cats scratch another run across there in the 5th inning, and they lead it now 3-1. But Sydney Langdon has really come into her own, and that ball is going to be a base hit as a diving Riley Smith got in her glove, but it popped out, rolled away. So, boy, a great try out there in left, and yep, it bounced into her glove and knocks away. But she kept it in front of her, and it only held her to a single.
Tough play for Riley Smith. Dove a little bit too much to center field. Would have liked to have seen her dive toward the ball. She had a great chance to make that play.
So Bricker tonight, 1 for 2, a single.
Well, and how many times do you see this, Jeff, where, you know, someone makes a play that an outfielder really lives for, to be able to get back to the fence, save a home run, and then they come up to bat that same inning. So, you know, you see that a lot, that trying to take that momentum on defense, turn it into some offense for your team.
So Bricker 1 for 2, struck out in the 1st, but had that base hit back in the 4th. And now you're seeing the 3rd time through the lineup for Langdon. Nice pitch.
And that pitch really sets up her rise ball. So you get so used to, as a hitter, the pitch tunnels out, so it comes out of the same tunnel on her release point. And sometimes the ball stays low, it's a low rise, and other times it's up by your eyes, and they look the same. You know, her ball tunnels so well. Good location there for the looking strikeout for the first out of the inning. But they come out of that same tunnel, so as a hitter, you start guessing a little bit. And this time, this is a location strikeout. Langdon's gonna really paint the outside part of the plate. Doesn't get any better than that.
12th strikeout of the game for Sydney Langdon. And now Nicole Waters steps in, squares around a bunt. So Kentucky brings the 1st and 3rd baseman. Shortstop covers 2nd. 2nd baseman covers 1st. So they bring the corners in on the bunt attempt. Out of the zone, though, so that's a ball. 2nd time, popped in the air, right back to the 1st baseman, and that's nicely done by the Cats. There's Larry there to make the play. She's playing first base.
With 2 outs for the ninth.
Well, especially when you're facing a pitcher that works up in the zone and has a lot of movement. Boy, that bat angle is so important in a bunt, to set it at the top of your zone, and if it's above that, you let it go, and if everything else, you have to angle down, and that time Waters just lifted the pitch right up with her barrel. It's an easy out there for Kentucky.
You know, I've seen now teams that practice bunting using a lacrosse stick.
I love it.
To, you know, just put it out there and catch it. That's basically what you're trying to do with the bats, catch the ball right on the bat.
A lot of times with youth camps, you put their glove on their
Really?
hand, and they're just trying to catch the ball at a certain level. And yeah, anything to do, and with the, kind of the rule number one of a bunt, you never want to elevate your bat for a bunt. That's only going to be trouble. First of all, it means you're bunting a non-strike. You're bunting a ball,
right.
And then you're just really giving that out to the defense.
Foul. Yeah, that is it is an art, and those who can do it well are special players.
And teams that can do it well make deep postseason runs, because there are times when you have to go to the short game to make some things happen. Got to be able to put that ball in the dirt.
Right behind the catcher, she can't get to it. Has Jim Cooper in the way. Let me tell everybody, Dave Raniker is the third base umpire, Phil Friels at first, and Jim Cooper behind the plate on this damp night in Lexington, Kentucky. Madison Davis stepped out of the box there, and now she's ready to get back in. Again, just trying to break up that rhythm of the pitcher a little bit once she gets going. And she just waves at that one. 13 strikeouts for Sydney Langdon through 6 innings. Kentucky leads 3-1, and they're coming up. Coming to the home sixth, and we'll have a recap of the scoring in this one, Coach.
Well, Bellarmine gets on the board early with Shoemaker, the leadoff batter, scoring in the first. But in the fourth, it was all Kentucky as they came back with the long balls, lots of extra base hits. Kentucky took a commanding lead, got all the runs back. It's now 3-1. Took Kentucky offense a little while to get on track. But once they did, they have hit through the lineup. They have had pinch hitters come off the bench and be productive. They're trying to build on this lead here in the sixth.
So here's Hamilton. She doubled, scored a run in the fourth, and this time she goes to right center field. And another wonderful defensive play out there by the Knights outfielders. And boy, look at Zuniga. She says, nicely done, as Shoemaker hauls that one in. Brooke Shoemaker.
Her teammate Bricker saves a home run on the last at-bat. And Shoemaker says, well, anything you can do, teammate, I can do a little better. An outstanding effort play by Shoemaker. Timed her dive perfectly, dove at an angle to give herself as much room as possible. That is just want to from these Bellarmine outfielders, finding a way to make those catches.
That saves extra bases there, because if she doesn't get that, it's an easy double.
And that can be a little deflating for an offense.
Oh, yeah.
You can't hit the ball any better than that, and yet you're heading back to the dugout with a fly ball out. So credit to the Bellarmine outfielders, back-to-back plays.
She's going to get another try here. She just steps onto the warning track and hauls that one in off the bat of Borzarelli. So 2 straight to right. Quick 2 outs for Zuniga.
For Kentucky, your designated player, number 37, Peyton Plotz.
So here's Peyton Plotz again. 0 for 2 here. Ground out and a fly out. You are seeing 2 totally different approaches by the pitchers in this game. How about 3 in a row? Hardly has to move out there as Shoemaker makes all 3 outs. And what was that, 6-pitch inning?
Start kind of got behind some hitters. Bellarmine jumped to an early lead. She has really settled in. And that's really what you want to see from your freshman in the circle, just that development, not just week to week, month to month, but throughout the game. Can you make the adjustments to find success in the circle? And we've seen that from Langdon.
Well, you know, the one thing with hitters, you don't have to throw it 75 miles an hour, right? She's done a great job, as you said, of changing eye levels. She's gone waist to chest to knees. It's just all about movement, and she has really moved the ball around the strike zone and done a fantastic job.
If you could put together your ideal pitcher, you'd have speed and movement, you know, and throw, you know, all the pitches to all parts of the zones and change speeds. But, you know, not every pitcher is going to have all those tools, and you don't need them. There have been so many All-Americans over the years that have, you know, 2 effective pitches. They can throw a drop and a change, but they can locate it different levels. They can locate it to both sides of the plate, change speeds. And with Langdon, what's so impressive is she really can command both parts of the plate. You know, she doesn't live on one side of the plate. She doesn't live in one part of the zone. She can spin the ball up through the zone. She also has a curveball screwball.
And what was the term you used, the funnel that she has?
The tunnel.
The tunnel,
yeah,
okay.
the tunnel.
It's a shot out to Smith, and she's able to go down to one knee to get it. But it comes, you know, we call it an arm slot, but
sure.
The tunnel, same thing.
Same thing.
And her pitch is coming from the same spot, but it does 2 different things.
Yeah, you want to keep your pitch in the same, you know, coming out of the same type of tunnel. So it makes it tough for a hitter because, you know, if you release the ball in different spots or the ball comes out of the tunnel in different areas, it's a little easier to pick up. With all the technology out there now and video out there, you can pick those things up pretty quickly. But with Langdon, she really tunnels the ball well, and so it comes out the same, but she has such a lively wrist that the ball can spin up to the zone, can, you know, throw that curveball screwball combination. Sometimes just throws the ball hard and locates it. She also has good location on the ball, but just really impressive freshman. And I know Coach Lawson's really excited about her not only this season, but, you know, throughout her career here at Kentucky.
Well, if she can finish this one out, she'll lower her ERA and even her record. She came into the game 1-2. This is her 5th start of the year. She had a .385 Ernie coming in. She's given up 1 run here. It wasn't earned runs, so she keeps pumping those strikes. 13 strikeouts. It's a career high for her. Well, they have got a couple of. Erica Indris is the batter now. And Indris goes down swinging on that one. The junior pinch hitter.
Langdon hasn't missed a beat. We're into the 7th inning. Kind of a cool, damp night here in Lexington. She's still throwing the ball with great velocity, still has good command of her pitches. Just an impressive performance.
That's 14. And now we back to the top of the lineup. And Brooke Shoemaker. Tell you what an inning she had defensively last inning. All 3 outs, and one of them, well, you could put that on ESPN Top 10 and any day, and it would stand up. She is just pumping in strike after strike, isn't she? Evens the count there at 1-1.
Yeah, it really has been more efficient with her pitch count later in the game. You know, early in the game, she's up over 110 pitches right now, which is, you know, a decent outing for a pitcher for sure. But you know, the first few innings, she threw a lot more pitches than she probably would have wanted to. A couple walks in there, and just behind a lot of hitters. We have not seen that here late in the game. Again, showing you the adjustment she's been able to make. Like, hey, I need to work from ahead. I need to make a little adjustment. If it's outside, I need to adjust my stride, adjust my release point, whatever it might be, to keep trying to attack the zone. And we've seen that from the freshman in the circle.
Her and Stephanie Schoonover are 2 strikeout pitchers out there on the mound. And how about you end it with a called 3rd strike? Was that rise ball again? Because, boy, she had no chance at that one.
Just an impressive performance from the freshman. She's all smiles, and why not? 15 strikeouts on the game for Sydney Langdon, most of those coming in the middle to latter half of